Everybody, good afternoon and let's talk. Thank you guys for joining us today. You are joining reports, staff evaluations, dashboard, and quick in NCEES. And the link to the slides is showing on the screen right now. You should have also gotten that in the welcome message and in the chat. So if you want to open your chat, this is where we can communicate today. We are using Webex meetings. Your chat does have like a talk bubble that you can turn on. You may have to click on these three dots to find your chat. We do also have a private question and answer that you could use. I do have both open, but most of the time we ask our questions in chat or just unmute. You are welcome to unmute and ask your questions. All right, and if you need closed captions, those are available in your tools on the bar, however you joined us. You can find those closed captions. If you're not hearing us, I'm circling audio issues on the screen. There are three dots where you can switch your audio. Okay. So I am Cammie Nairn. I work for NCDPI on the Digital Teaching and Learning Home-Based team. I am your NCEES product manager, also known as your education product consultant, and I answer all the system questions for NCEES. And I have a wonderful colleague, Jennifer Bass, and I'll let her introduce herself and tell you what she does for NCEES.
Good afternoon. As Cammie said, I'm Jennifer Bass, and I'm the NCEES coordinator. Cammie and I work very closely together where she answers the system questions. I am usually the person who answers your policy questions. So if you have any questions at all about concerning NCEES and PDPs or evaluations, I'm the person that you would call.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Glad you're here with us this afternoon.
Yes. All right. So on our agenda today, we will look at different types of reports that you can run on the staff evaluations dashboard, on the staff dashboards, and then under reporting, we're going to look at all the reports there, but we're going to focus on the quick reports. Today's training is aligned to the digital learning plan that you might have heard about that DPI has updated for 2022 for all the districts. And we've aligned them to human capacity and leadership and vision. So we will be talking about reporting, and the big question is does your district have a plan for reporting? Who in your district runs your reports for NCEES? Is it your NCEES district administrator? Is it a NCEES site administrator? Are they responsible for any reports? Site administrators who have a role of principal can run reports for all staff in their location. If you've made an AP or other roles in the system a site administrator, they can access reporting, but their results will be restricted to their access rights. Any reports you run in NCEES are restricted to your access rights. So especially those site administrators who are APs or another role other than principal. And then who is going to keep a record of evaluations and PDPs when staff leave your site? What is the staff hire and leave notification plan for the NCEES leads? Do you know when somebody's leaving so that you can go ahead and print a copy of their plan? And why do you want to do that? Is because when staff leave your district, once they join another North Carolina district, their plans go with them, and you no longer have access to them or can run any reports on their plans. So if you want that information, print it before they leave. And then how often does your administration want to see percentages of plan activity completions or other types of reports? So you need to know about when those kind of reports are due and what kind of reports they might want to see. And then who can run all the needed reports for your summer and fall planning? I know we've done that, we just got done with summer and we're into fall planning now, before June 30th of the current fiscal year. You need to run reports during the current school year in NCEES. Why? Can't I just wait and run a past year report later? Not really. We do have past year reports in NCEES, but if you need these fields to print what it was at the time of the year, so people's locations, what school were they at in 2021 or 2020, the plan type they had in 2020, or their name, even their name if they've changed their name. NCEES will report current settings for each of those field types. So if you're including these fields on a past year report, it's only going to report this year's settings. So maybe this person was on a comprehensive plan in 2020. Now they're on a standard plan, and you're running a past year report. You select the box for plan type. It's going to put the current year plan type. It will pull the ratings correctly for that past year, but it will report on the current year plan. It will say the title is the current year plan type. So that's just an anomaly for NCEES. So we always stress, please run all your reports that you're going to need, especially over the summer and through the fall, before school ends in the current school year. Any questions about that? Also, did you know that plans must be in active status for most NCEES reports to include them in the data? So if you're somebody that's used to running reports like the quick reports in NCEES, it is only looking at those plans that people have started. It is not reporting on plans that you have assigned and they have not started. If you are an administrator, you can navigate to My Staff, All Staff, and look at your people and do the little drop downs. If it has the word start on it, and this might be small on your screen, but if you see the word start, that staff has not started that plan, so it is not active and it will not be included in reports. And if it says the word edit, it is active and in place. Also, this is why principals don't see people's names, don't see their plans on the staff evaluation plans when people have not started their plan. We're going to jump into the staff evaluations dashboard. It might be helpful if you do have an extra screen for you to be in your NCEES if you'd like to follow along and see what kind of results you get as we go. I will go live and assume identity of a training principal to show you some of these steps. So on the staff evaluation plan, you will find two different kinds of reports. There's this download CSV report. It looks like this icon here. And then there's a little graph icon that has a reporting menu in it. So the download CSV prints what is on the dashboard. So you can use filters to define this report. We're going to look at that. Users in our larger districts found that this CSV file is limited to 5,000 records. So if you're pulling from a large district, you do want to use your filters and get your number below 5,000, and then just run another report for the other people over and above 5,000. For the reporting menu, this is where we're going to find that evaluation completion report that almost everybody runs. I just want to show you, I have a couple of slides in here from our tips and tricks webinar that has a video of the download CSV report, tells you how to get to it, and gives you ideas for running it. And then we also have, probably going to try to run that. There we go. And we also have a video for the staff evaluations dashboard that we're going to look at and how to get to that evaluation completion report. So let's see if we want to jump over to the live side now. This is the evaluation completion report, but let's bring the live side over here. All right, so I'm going to assume identity of a principal. Let's see, right here. And we're going to navigate to staff evaluations. It's right here, staff, home, my evaluations, staff evaluations. And reminder, you're not going to see all the plans here unless they are active, started and active. So here we have our dashboard. Zoom back out to show you all the fields, and we'll zoom back in. These are all your headers. different actions that you can do depending on your role. If you're a DA, you're going to see this is where you can archive or delete plans, things like that. You can unarchive or see what plans are archived here in that column. The owner's name will open their plan. The active plan is the plan they're currently working in that is showing on this page. The rubric from my staff, this shows you the teacher plan type that is set on my staff. We're not seeing it here because this is our training folks, so it's not set over there because we have all the plans on all our training people. But this is, if these don't match, if this says principal and it says over here library media coordinator, something's wrong. So make sure you check that out. Location of your staff, and then depending on the plan, if you're looking at PDP information, that's these next columns. And then evaluation or principal evaluation data is right here. This is your status. Where are they at? Have they started their activities? Have they completed their activities? And are those activities locked? So to print a report for this page, you can just use this download CSV, and it will print everything in the list. If you would like to filter this page, it's very easy to do. I use filters all the time. You can click add filter. If I zoom in too much, it kind of falls. There we go. Add filter. And then you can, maybe I want to see active plans that are equal to the comprehensive evaluation. Maybe I'm working with beginning teachers or new teachers that I put on the comprehensive plan, even if they're career teachers. And maybe I want to know if their training and orientation is not equal to completed, because they should be done with that by now. And then I can update this table. And it looks like mine are all good. Let's try a different plan. My staff, there we go. So they did find on the abbreviated plan, and notice when I switched, I had to update the table again. Now I have my abbreviated plan, folks, and now I can download this CSV. And depending on how you set your browser to download, mine pops up here in Firefox. I just click on it. And I'm thinking, yep, there we go. Sorry, I had another Excel report open. Make sure I got the right one. And now I have this report where I can save it as an Excel worksheet. I can expand it. I can work with it. I can do pivot tables and all such as that. I can do conditional formatting to see what's done and what's not done. So these folks, most of them haven't started everything. Training on orientation for one of them is in progress. I need to contact their principal and say, hey, can you check out these folks? If I'm the DA running this report, or if I'm the principal, then I can go directly to my staff. So that's the CSV report. Any questions about that? The other note I will tell you, let me clear these browsers, these filters, sorry, and update my table. We talk about this in other webinars, but if you are working maybe with your residency teachers, you can come in here and pin them. And it's because this person has 16 plans, so it checked a bunch of pins, but you'll just see their PDP and their evaluation plan checked. So once I pin a group, then I can view my pin staff to just work with them. And oh, here it is. Show my list. I was looking for the word pin. Show my list. And now that's a quick way to have your filter already set if you know you're going to be working with them regularly. You can only pin one group at a time. So if you want to work with your residency teachers for this month, and then next month you're working with beginning teachers, then other beginning teachers, then you can change your pinned list. And now the CSV will report on these staff. The other report out here is the graph report. And the one that we use is this evaluation completion report. This does print on everybody. It doesn't matter what you have selected on the dashboard. So when you come out here, you can see that you need to choose a plan. Give me a little bit for you. All right, plan, please choose. Just ignore this kind of stuff out here. I don't know why it's hanging out there. It's been like that since I've been in NCEES, but this is where you're going to choose the plan. So I think I am going to do abbreviated since I know I have staff there. Let it spin. If you got a large group, it's going to be populating all their steps. I'm going to scroll down. Hopefully this is popping up. Yeah. All right. So as you scroll down in this report, you can see that every activity for that report is checked to report on. Here you can see how many people you have on this plan type. So for my school, abbreviated plan 22, 23, I have 2 participants. 2 of those folks are in progress. Back out again a little bit so you can see those. You see who's not started overall, who's in progress overall, and who's complete. This might be a good place to get some percentages when they want percentages. You can drill down into any of these plus marks. So this opened all the activities. So I can see that here I have 1 that is in progress or training and orientation, and I have 1 that is not started with their training and orientation. Just another place to see that. And then down here at the bottom is your spreadsheet. Get back over, zoom out. There we go. Get a little bit bigger for you. So here is your spreadsheet, and you'll have a lot more staff. If this overall status, this is the one place that you can see a plan that has been assigned but is not started, because it will say in this first column, not started, just like these other activities are saying not started. So this is a place you can see if they've not started their plan. I see I have my teacher, they're in progress for the overall status, but only 1 has done partially their orientation and 1 has not started. I can print this with the download CSV. And again, I'm going to get a report for that. So just like we did a while ago. It does not bring the pretty colors over. You're going to have to do the conditional formatting in the Excel spreadsheet. You're going to have to do that yourself. But this is a way you can download, send it to your principal and say, here's your list. You need to make sure you've got observation 1. It should have been completed last week. What if I don't want to see every single activity in the plan? Down here at the bottom is a deselect all. So now I can click. Maybe I want to see, we're getting towards mid-year. I want to see, are they complete? And I could just do the lock observation activities. If you just do lock observation, that tells you that all the required activities are done and that all the signatures are done. I do want to see all the fields for the first 2, so I'm just going to do all of these. Now, if you know it's not required because of the plan type, just leave the check box off. So we're going to see how far they are on this. And then we come back down here and we refresh. And now I'm going to have an easier spreadsheet to look at because it's not a mile long. All right, so now I just have through, well, there's scroll bars everywhere, through observation 2. And then I can download that. I know people run this very often, or they've got a similar report scheduled to run that talk about evaluation completion and quick reports. But this is a good way to go to the staff evaluation dashboard and see those evaluation completions. Okay. We don't run these other ones, these heat maps. They aren't working very well for North Carolina, so just stick with the evaluation completion report. All right, any questions for those 2 reports? If not, we're going to head over to staff dashboards. And I don't think I told you the NCEES district administrators and NCEES site administrators that have access to that page, they can run those reports. Staff dashboard reports. We just had a good, when we were out at home-based meetups, Sean Bayer, he is my customer service manager with PowerSchool, and PowerSchool owns NCEES. He did a good recording about communicating through NCEES and group reports in NCEES. So this is a very good webinar. It's only about 45 minutes long. He starts the group reports about the 27-minute mark. So I put that in there. I thought that you would like to see that. So I hope you guys, have anybody in here not seen dashboard reports before? Is anybody running those? You guys are really quiet today. Okay, we're going to take a look at them. They're actually under System Administration. Then you're going to click on Staff Dashboards on the menu. The Staff Dashboard window will open, and you're going to have to load the group of people you want to look at. And there are different options for that. There's 4 options here. Browse staff by site, browse by demographics, search staff, and save staff groups. All right, so by site, I tried to put some graphics for each one of these, and we will go look at it live. So browse by site, this is where you click into. If you are just a role of principal, you're only going to have your school, or if you're at more than one school, you'll have both of them or more. Most principals have one school, so they will, if they click on my sites, they are only going to get their staff from their school. If you're a district administrator, just keep drilling down. Maybe you just want to run this report for your high schools. You can come down in here and just select your high schools. And then the people's names will show up in the next column that will be included in the group reports. The browse by demographics, this is the way to choose people by the role they have. So under administrative will be superintendent, principal, things like that. Under instructional will be your teachers, your counselors, your library media, your ITFs, social workers, all of those will be under instructional. And then we have the new support demographic, and these are your folks that are in NCEES, not for evaluations, but they are in taking professional development. So you would just drill down, and you have to check the box so it'll turn blue, and then the folks' names that belong to that group will show up like in this first graphic. The next one is a very handy search. Maybe you want to do your high schools, but only include the people that are on the comprehensive plan. Well, skip over these first 2 and go to by search, because you can scroll through these and you can choose your location that you want to pull, and then you can also choose the plan type or cycle year. Different things like that are available in this by search. And finally, we have the by staff group. Now, you must have created a staff group in NCEES for this to work. So if you've created staff groups for your beginning teachers, for your residency teachers, for your social workers, things like that, then you'll see those listed under Save Staff Groups. And you can pick a staff group, and that will populate their names. Notice you can also edit your staff group from here. So maybe you needed to update your staff group before you run a report. You can actually edit the group with this button. It'll take you over to the group page, and you can remove or add people that should be in that group. All right, so we're going to go look at that, and we're going to look at these portal reports. Let me find my screen. There we go. All right, so I said we're going to go navigate to, well, I've moved in too far, System Administration. And we are going to, under System Administration, we are looking for Staff Dashboards. So right here, Staff Dashboards. System Administration, Staff Dashboards. And you need to load up a group. And I just want to show you these. So here's staff group. So maybe if I wanted to load a staff group, there they are. If I want to search staff, I could find everybody named Darren. This one is a little fast. So name, username is their UID. Admin type, maybe I want to find all my district administrators or site administrators. and run them. Current staff position, instructional is all your teachers, counselors, that thing, staff like that. Employee ID is going to be the UID. I'm not sure that I want to use email. We don't have home phone numbers in NCEES. Maybe I want to know who can assign access rights, things like that. Maybe I'm looking for people that had a license expiration date for this coming year, and I want to put them in the list. So you could put that in as well. And you can just use contains would probably work best there. PDP type, maybe I want to see everybody on a monitor plan. And then here's the plan type. So you can select a certain plan type. So this is where you can select multiple factors that will define this list. And here's where you choose your site. So this is where you go and drill down and pick your school. All right. And then there's other demographics out here, enroll dates, last login date. This is where you can go see when people have last logged in. And then you can set that in there. And then are you looking for active accounts? Yes, I'm looking for active accounts, and click search. I don't know if that'll work because we had the other parameter set in there. Yep, no results found. I'm going to refresh this page. All right. All right, so then I can do a browse by site. And then there's the browse by demographics. And we talked about that just a minute ago. You just drill down into here. Maybe I want to run everybody that is my social workers. So I could do that as well. Now, because I'm a training person, they don't have access to many people. So let me see if the browse by site will work, or if I just, there we go. So I'm using browse by site just because I know this training person has access to 2 people. So you decide what you want to do. If you want to load people from more than one school, you can group by site. And it'll put the school name above each group of people that belong to that location. So you can try that out as well. All right, so the first report that's out here is the group dashboard right here. Group dashboard. And the first report is learning opportunities. It's pretty much just a graphical report. You really can't do anything with it. You can print it. You can right click on the image and open it in a new tab and save the image. But you'll have a graph, and it'll have dates down below that will show you how often your staff are logging in and taking those learning opportunities or registering for learning opportunities. Just kind of gives you a graph of when your staff are actually going out in NCEES and registering for courses. So that there's a graph there. You can see it probably bumps up in July, and then probably tapers off some, and then bumps up again as it comes time to renew licensure. They'll probably bump up again. All right, the other one under here that's really nice is your portal report. Let that load. Need to call PowerSchool. We're being a little slow today. I've had a couple people reporting. If you guys have had bonus issues, please let me know. I think I might need to give a heads up to PowerSchool. But here is some graphical reports for their portal report. So how many times people are logging in. This first one counts all the logins. So if I log in 10 times, I'm included in this first report. You can see that it peaked in June and July and then dropped off in September, and now it's back up in November because I'm logging in with these folks this month. Total logins is right here. You'll have different colors because you'll have more people. You can hover over to get more information. So 20 logins in 2022 for these 2 people. And then days since last login. This is the one you might want to see. How often are you people logging in to access their plans? Or access NCEES at all. And so here on the right-hand side in the red, if I hover over that, this person has logged in within the last 14 days. If I can make this any bigger for you. The person in the red has logged in within the last 14 days. The person in the yellow has been between 4 and 6 months since they've logged into the system. So that might be a bit concerning, but you don't know who it is. So how do I know who it is? And I click on this little graph up here. Oh, there's not one I want. It should be loading. It should list your staff's names and how many days it's been since they last logged in. So that's a good report for you to go by. If people are saying, oh, yeah, I've loaded into the system, you can say, no, teacher two, it's been 4 months since you've logged into the system. You can actually find the exact date that they last logged in, and I'll show you that. It's not really a report, but I'll show you where to find it. This unique logins is different from all logins. This is counting the first time I logged in on the dates in March, May, June. So we can see we peaked last March. Then it went down in May, and then June went up as we were completing plans. And then it stayed kind of level through July and then dropped off in September. So just some good informational graphs there. The way to find when somebody last logged in is to click on this individual information. And then click on their name. And right here, you're going to see the date and the time that they last logged in. All right. Just want to show you that real quick. I know we're talking about reports today. The other report that's out here is group reports. Completion status by report name. I'm going to run the teacher one. I don't know. We have a lot of people running these reports. If you run them and they don't seem right, let me know. It's supposed to list, and because these staff, my training staff, have all the plans, it's supposed to tell you which users have incomplete assessments, so that have not been completed on their plan, their current year plan. So this teacher needs to be working on something. So that's a report for that. The proficiency analysis report. This is really for in North Carolina, we're not looking for this until the end of the year. So try running it at the end of the year. You can see you have score-based pie charts, bar charts, element bar charts, and it should report on their proficiency analysis. If we don't have completed plans, then there's no data available right now. Right, and then there's course completion reporting if you're working with PD or any reason in your district in NCEES. This is a way you can see maybe you've assigned everybody or a certain group of folks to do the mentor course. It used to be course number 35. I know it's got a new number now, but I've memorized 35. So if you're searching for a specific course number, put parens around it, or it's going to find 1035, 351. It's going to find everything with 35. But if you put the parens around it, it will find that course number. You do not need to fill in all the fields of the course. You either need a name or an exact title, a section number if you're looking for a section. So you can fill in any of those. You don't need to fill in any of these. I just like to put in the course number. You can also look for other course numbers by putting a comma and then the next course number. All right, so I just made up a course number. I'm going to take that one out. You're going to come down here. Do you want to know if they're registered or if they've never registered or if they're completed? You decide which ones you want to show in their report. There's a detail report. And a summary report. So the detail report is going to list your staff and it's going to show you if they've registered for that course. So maybe I've told both of these teachers a month ago to take 21st century mentoring and they have not done it yet. You can download this or print it. The summary report is just going to give you percentages of your staff. Maybe you want to know how many people in your district, what percentage of people in your district have taken the mentoring course. So it depends on the question you want answered. So here it's showing me that I have two people that I have access to that are not registered. 100% of those have not registered. And that's your group reports in staff dashboards. Any questions about utilizing staff dashboard? All right, I think we're making pretty good time. If y'all are ready, we're going to head over to Quick Reports or the Reporting tab. So over here in the Reporting tab, there are a list of 4 different modules. When you come to reporting, the very first container says select a module you wish to run a report on. And so you're going to select the module. Observations and assessments does not work. It's not turned on, but they can't hide that from our list. You want to either do the evaluation process current year, the portal management, or the quick reports. So the first thing you're going to do is pick a module. And then if you want a description of all the reports in the module you selected, click the word here. And I just want to show you that real quick. All right, so we went to reporting. And again, district administrators and site administrators can run these reports. So evaluation process current year, I'm going to leave it on that. There's a GP status report. We're going to find out what that is in just a minute. Click here for report description. Creates a report on the GP status for all users at a site. And I will show you what that means in just a minute. We're going to go look back at reporting. Let's do what everybody runs the quick reports. And now I have a list here. Well, what are all these reports doing? I can click the word here. And just to note, you'll see reports are doubled up. So we have activity lock report current year, activity lock report select year. The current year reports, you can schedule the system to run them on whatever dates you want them to run. The select year reports, you can't, but you can use select year to print current or past year reports. So and remember, this is only going to pull active plans if it's the current year. It will report on plans from the past year, but if it has fields in it, like the name, the plan type, it's going to report current year information. So remember that when you're running a past year report. So activity lock, deactivated plans. You want a list of anybody that has their plans have been deactivated right there. Evaluation completion exception report, very good report. Make sure you bookmark that one. And then just read through, it tells you what it does on those reports. I will scroll down here. Now all our reports have these asterisks and they're pretty much set to run every year. We used to put dates on reports and have to update that every year, and it was a big process. So now you still have some of these past year reports if you need any of those, but we will be rolling off some of the older reports. So like if there's 2015 reports in here, they'll be rolling off. We're going to try to roll off so that you can at least run reports for the past 5 years. Your ad hoc reports will still pull whatever ad hoc report you set up. But we want to get this list where it's not so long. Okay. I'll come back to reporting. And I did want to show you each of these reports. So evaluation process, current year, GP status. I am a principal. If I was a DA, it's going to run district information. If I'm a principal, it's going to run my school information. I'm just going to click the word next. Notice I can't really change anything. If you are a district administrator, this will say district, and then you can drill down as far as you need to, or you can set this to school and then pick a school. We're going to click next. And we're going to look at the abbreviated evaluations again, but notice you can pick any plan and click next. I like this report for looking at, not really printing. You decide what you want to do with it. But it's another quick way to see percentages of activities done and who's not done. So this looks familiar to the staff evaluations dashboard report. You have 2 people on your plan, 2 people in progress. I can drill down into the steps. I can drill down into each activity and notice how many people I have completed in each activity. So it's all the activities in here. Summary evaluation, of course, is not started yet. So not started will be orange, in progress will be blue, and complete will be green. Over here on the left, you see the name of your school. So you can click on the name of your school, and you want to know who that one person is that has not done training and orientation. Well, here it is. So teacher 2, their activity is not started for training and orientation. And now I can contact teacher 2 and say, hey, why has that not done that? So this, they have opened their plan. It's in progress, but they've not done that first step. All right, anybody need to have any questions about that report? I think it's good for site administrators just to do a quick overview and looking at that and maybe getting those percentages to report on up to the superintendents or whoever is needing those reports. The next report is portal management. Again, login statistics by date. This one, and you can click on the definition if you want, but I'm just going to click next. And click next again. Since I'm a principal, I don't have any choices to change. And then this is where I can go back and choose how far back do I want to look at login statistics for my staff. So maybe I just want to go back to August 1st, 2022. I'm going to click done. I think it'll be this slow for 2 people. Hopefully it'll load up pretty quick. It does not list names. It's just going to give you each day and the number of logins. So it looks like for my staff, 1 logged in on September 27th and 2 logged in on November 7th. One thing to note, if you're a district administrator and you're checking on logins, if you have assumed the identity of somebody, that counts as a login for them because you are them. So go run the reports before you assume their identity to check and see what's going on. Because if you assume their identity, you will be them. All right, and then the big area where everybody goes to run reports, we're going to look at that next, and that's your quick reports. So here are your quick reports, activity lock reports. Remember that will tell you if steps are completed. It helps with those steps that aren't required, like maybe a peer observation on abbreviated plan. You can't really see when those are completed just looking at the activity because it doesn't show you an overall green check. But the activity lock report will show it as complete if the activity has been locked, because you can't lock it unless all the activities are complete. And then your evaluation completion reports. I'm going to go back to our slides to show you some of that. Here's our quick reports module. You're going to select reports to run. Do the same thing, just click done, so on, and it will run for you. I wanted to give you a link, and I'll copy this link. This is a PANC session that some of our NCEES leads did a couple of years ago. It's still viable though. In there is a bunch of reporting that they use in their district. So Johnston County, Wake County, Washington County, one other county presented at this PANC session, and myself. And so they are recommending you run these reports. There may be other reports that you want to run. For instance, I would always probably check to make sure which staff belong to my district, run the ones that are in 2 different districts, so I know if payroll has updated my staff correctly or if they need to contact another district to update staff. So all of these reports are very informative, but you can see beginning of year, they check orientation and record of PDP activities. Middle of year, you'll notice the PDP activities shows up in each of these. Evaluation completion exception report to see if staff are doing those activities, and then users with more than 1 active plan. But in that slide deck, you're going to see they put in graphics on each of those to show you what the report looks like. So I think this is a very good resource for you. So just come over here and then find the slide. So beginning of year, slide 10, slide 27 for middle of year, and so on. It's being slow loading up, so I'm going to move on. And then they've also created quick report step-by-step directions. So here's something you could share with your site administrators, your district administrators. It's very easy to run these quick reports, and then they put in their recommended reports. So here's the directions at the top. You can memorize any module report. So when we're running these reports, and let's go see if that one ran. All right, so we're going to do next. When the report loads, there will be a blue button at the bottom that says Memorize Report. I'll show you where that shows up. You may have to stick with the slides. It's getting a little slow out here. I'll come back and show you that. But it looks like this at the bottom of your report. Any one of those reports in that drop down, in that module drop down, you'll see this blue button, Memorize Report. And then you can go on the reporting tab to the next container down. You're going to see My Reports. So once you've memorized the report, you have the option to update the title. It's going to put the name of the report, and it's going to add the word for. For what? For 21, 22, 22, 23. You make sure you name your report so it makes sense to you. All right, and then you can run or delete reports from the My Reports page. Do that real quick. I'm choosing different. It's not one up, but I will show you the next screen down. Once you memorize a report, it actually shows up right here. And then you have this. But we're going to lead right into, well, how do I schedule these reports to run? So do I want them to run quarterly? Do I want them to run every month, every week? You can manage your reports from here. And you're going to click on this second button, Scheduled Quick Reports. Because this is going to give you your list and your button to create a list. Notice that you're going to see everybody's scheduled quick reports out here probably, but you don't have access to them. You'll see a box here if it's your report where you can click on the box and then delete it. The button will turn red down here if you want to delete one of your reports. We're going to create a scheduled quick report. And so you're going to pick a report. Maybe I do want to run the evaluation completion exception report, and I want that to run quarterly or at selected times. So we're going to put a title in here. All right, and then that's going to be the name of your export, and then your file has to have a name, so I'm just going to use the same name. If I want the date to be included, I copy this macro, and I put it either at the beginning or end or in between, wherever you want to put the date. So it will include the date. And then I'm going to set a date for this export to run. So I want it to run, click the little widget. Maybe I want it to run today. And what time do I want it to run? Let's do 6 p.m. Do I want it to reoccur? Monthly, daily, specify additional dates. So we won't look at all these, but weekly, you can recur every week on every Monday, every 2 weeks on every Monday, however you want to do that. Daily, every so many days. Do you want it to end after so many occurrences or end by a certain date? There's weekly we looked at. Monthly, do I want to pick the first day of every month or every third month? So I could do that. Same other parameters are still there. And then there's this one that a lot of people like. Well, I know what dates I need to get reports to the superintendent, so I'm going to pick the date that I need that report. It added it. And I'm going to pick the next date. I need to get that same report to the superintendent, and it adds it. So this is where you can add specific dates. Okay, and that's how you can do that. And then if you need to remove those at any point while you're creating this, just click remove if you accidentally selected a date you don't need. Recipients, this is where you're going to put who is going to get this report. You can do comma separated to send it to more than one person. They do get an email with the report attached. There's one area in NCEES where you can get a report emailed to you. Leave all the FTP stuff blank. Blank it out if it's something in there. Leave the FTP protocol on FTP. We are not using FTP in NCEES, so just leave those. Blank out. If there's anything filled in, blank it out. And then just click add. Oh, you cannot schedule an export. Export start date, 11/7. Oh, it's past this one. I've got a 2024. I think maybe that's it. You don't schedule an export in the past. Do I schedule an export in the past? Well, let's do, oh, it is in the past. Yes. All right, and click add. All right, and then if I want to find my name in here, I can filter this page. Created by, and I am, who am I? I think I'm principal. Yep. And then it gives me my report. So if I created the report, I have a box here that I can delete the report if I need to. But I can't do anything with anybody else's reports. So that's a quick overview of how to schedule reports. Any questions about that? That's a good way to set up your own little library of reports. Any report that you run that you see that memorize button on, you can go ahead and add it to that section of reporting. All right. We did all of that. And then just a quick reminder, we try to let districts know to finish all your plans, make sure your calendar is set to give you time to run your reports during the current school year, especially those end of year reports that you're going to need over the summer and into the fall when you need stuff for beginning teacher audits, when you need stuff for setting plan types. Run all those reports prior to June 29th. On June 30th, I review the system and I run the reports that I need to report to the state. All right, so do we have any questions? Y'all are very quiet today. Is there any questions about reports? We're going to do another webinar, and we'll look at that in just a minute next week. Let me get this link for our feedback. If you do need to turn in CEU credits for attending today, please do, and everybody, please fill out our feedback form. But if you want that certificate, the last two questions ask you if you want a certificate, and it will email that to you. So make sure you answer the final two questions in there. We do love to hear from you. Was this, did this cover what you expected to see today? Put in the, be honest on what you need to see in this type of webinar, and we're always happy to bring better to you next time. So that is our feedback form. We do have a new NCEES resource site. We'll put that. You need to bookmark this. Our Google site will be going away. This is where all the manuals and all that kind of information is housed. So this is our new NCEES site. And you can come out here to find your teacher manuals, your principal, your support staff, your central office staff, and your superintendent. A link to our DPI website, information about orientation, which we are well past now. Those folks that are piloting the new principal rubrics, there's your information. Online PD opportunities in NCEES, The video repository for those observation videos that you might want to look at and watch to help inform your observation conversations. And NCDPI's, they do a bulk of our courses in NCEES, so you might want to look at just their courses. There's a link for that. Questions about super observations, which I think are probably getting ready to wrap up. And then our webinar series, we are recording today. It will be posted out here on our webinar list, so our current year list. This is where you come to find the past recordings. We will publish this recording within 1 week, so they will be posted over here. We have one more webinar for this school year, and that's going to be the ad hoc reporting and export to PDF in NCEES. So especially if you're looking for reports for beginning teacher audits, this is a good session to attend to show you how to do these in ad hoc reporting. Ad hoc reporting is only accessible to people with district administrator, but if you're a beginning teacher, you can go out here and then you can talk to your district administrator about how they can set that up. They can schedule these to run for you and let it email you when they're ready. Okay, and then what else on our slides? This is our admin resources, and I don't think I've been real clear. I do have the link to our admin resources in Canvas, but when you come out here, if it tells you don't have access, just go to Canvas, find on the left-hand rail this folder called Home-Based Resources, and then enroll in the NCEES admin course, and then you can get in. If you don't have access to Canvas at all, let myself or Corey McNeil, our Canvas manager, know. Email me and I'll work with him. Corey and I both make sure we have people updated in Canvas so that you can click on a course in NCEES, get into the course in Canvas. But this is for our NCEES admins. It's information for you for beginning of year. For middle of year, I'm updating right now. So model year 1 is your beginning of year. I'm updating middle of year. End of year is updated. And then I'll be updating the rest of these. So this is new, and we are working on getting all these tabs filled out. If you're new to NCEES, there's a good getting started area. So check that out. But make sure you do enroll in the course. You click on the folder, you click on NCEES, and I'm already enrolled, so y'all won't see the enroll button. Oh, I will see it. Here we go. Enrolling course. So that's how you get into that. We call it a hub. It's not really a course. You don't get a certificate or anything at the end. It's just a hub of resources for admins in NCEES. All right, we've got about 3 minutes. Again, there's the last webinar for this year. Jennifer and I will be working to plan next year webinars. I do have a couple scheduled for the end of year for next year, so those should be on the list as well. This is where our recordings are housed. We have a YouTube NCEES playlist. You just want to go out there and check that out, see what's out there. There's your link. And if you want time to meet with me one-on-one or your team to meet with me one-on-one, I do hold office hours, so just check that out. If you can't find a date on that office hour calendar, just email me and we will find a date. So I want to thank you for joining us. And Jennifer, do you have anything to add?
No, not unless somebody has any specific questions for me.
I haven't seen any questions come in, so
I've been watching.
A very helpful webinar. Oh, thank you. Somebody did say it's been very helpful. Good. Thank you. Please join us next week for the other side of reporting in ad hocs and export to PDF. Those export to PDFs will be awesome for your end of year reports because you can get individual reports for everybody in your district. Keep a record of their evaluations at the end of the year. So thank you guys. I don't think we really have any questions, so I'm going to stop recording. Wish you all a good evening, but I will stay on the line for a couple minutes in case you do want to unmute without the recorder on. So thank you. Have a good evening.